Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Julie K here with an Easter card share and process tutorial for creating this Easter card. This is the completed Easter card that I will show you how to make with a watercolor spray background. The main die that we will be using for this project is Holy Crosses by 2D Designs. I will be using gold glossy cardstock from Paper Accents, bronze pearlized paper from Paper Accents, yellow or orange basil cardstock for layering, card base that measures 5 by 6.5 when folded, 120-pound watercolor paper from Canson. For this project I will be using Jingle Bells by Tattered Angels, Canna Lily Burnt Orange by Lindy's Stamp Gang, Tiger Lily by Tattered Angels, and Santa Baby by Tattered Angels. But you can use any shades of yellow, orange, or red that you have in your stash. Spellbinders labels 33 and 34. Spellbinders long classic rectangles. Happy Easter Sentiment from Embossing Arts Company. Faith Sentiment from Art Impressions. Miscellaneous supplies include an ink pad, corner rounder, scissors, adhesive, either tape and or glue, bling, spray bottle with water, and a die cutter. To begin with, cut the Holy Crosses die for the number of cards you will be making. Use the gold and or bronze paper. Cut pieces of watercolor paper to use for your stained glass background, roughly 5 by 6 inches. Start the project with a piece of watercolor paper and spritz with water. Next, add spray ink starting with the lightest color and finishing with the darkest. In this case, I am starting with yellow, then I will progress to orange and then red. Since I will be putting the Holy Crosses die cut over this background, I am hoping to achieve a lighter color in the middle and using this as my light source. Once you start spraying ink and the paper is saturated, you can tilt the paper to move and blend the ink. You can also take color away with a paper towel. This can be a messy project, so if you are concerned about your fingers or fingernails, slip on a pair of latex gloves before starting to spray your inks. Often when I work with sprays, I will take extra pieces of paper to clean up my mess, so as to not waste ink. These sheets work well for die cutting sentiments and backgrounds. To speed up the drying time, I will often use a heat tool, but you can just let it air dry too. Once your stained glass background is dry, you can attach the Holy Crosses die. I like to use Adhesive Tech glue, but any fine tip glue will work. When attaching delicate dies, I like to use a clean paper towel to absorb any excess glue. I ended up making 4 backgrounds with die cuts glued onto them. Next, cut around the edges of the die. Next, I will add layers to the folded cardstock base. The bottom layer measures 5 by 6.5 inches and the next layer is 4 3/4 by 5 3/4 inches. You can also use a corner rounder on the edges if you want. You will need tape or glue to attach your layers. I decide to use a corner rounder on the middle layer before attaching. I decide to add bling to the crosses for a little more interest. I like to use glossy accents to glue on the bling to ensure that it will not come off anytime soon. Die cut Spellbinders labels 33 and 34 for the inside of the card. Rubber stamp the Easter sentiment to the die cut. Attach the die cuts to the inside of the card using tape or glue. I am also adding an extra piece of scrap paper to finish the look. I am going to add a signature stamp to my card as it is important to sign your work. After looking at the front of the card, I decided it is missing something. I am going to add the sentiment faith. My plan is to layer up this word using Spellbinders labels 33 and classic long rectangles dies. I will be using one of my pieces of paper that I cleaned up my overspray with to stamp my sentiment on and cut out with a rectangle die. I will layer this on a piece of orange or yellow basil cardstock that I cut out using Spellbinders labels 33 die. Next, I use my corner rounder at the 1/4 setting to round the edges of the sentiment that I stamped. Attach the sentiment layers to the front of the card. I'm going to use foam tape for one of my layers to raise it up some. To finish up the card, I add 2 more pieces of bling, adhering with glossy accents. Thank you for watching my process tutorial on creating this Easter card with a watercolor spray or stained glass background. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe to this channel. Have a wonderful day and happy crafting!